Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training a mere 25 minutes of chess. Following routines are difficult when you have a tournament to play as well. I hope the stream will hold up this time. I'm using a mobile data package, which I think might be a bit more reliable than the Wi-Fi. So fingers crossed this holds up, and let me quickly share with you, how the last couple of days have been before getting into some very, very rapid training. So the first thing I want to start off by saying is I lost my last two games, which is a bit of a downer. But I learned a lot from the games, and I'm also picking up on a recurring weakness of mine. I think it really comes down to two separate issues in my chess that are leading me to getting worse positions or making mistakes. And if I fix these two things, then I'm really going to be doing well or right. Really, really great that, I've managed to kind of work on my chess as a whole to the point where I feel like, just a few more things I need to sort out, and then actually my overall chess is going to be pretty strong. And just to very quickly share with you a photo, this was my opponent yesterday. The guy Atul, who has a YouTube channel of his own. He's actually stopped doing YouTube for a while because he's got a newborn baby to take care of and work obligations. But yeah, cool guy, and we had a very, very interesting game. I mean, I basically was not on 100% mental or physical form going into the game, and this led to me making a really bad oversight in the opening, which then made me suffer the whole game. But actually I did well to fight it on, and actually when I really needed to find a resource to kind of give myself decent drawing chances, I missed it, and the reason why I missed it was because I missed my opponent's next move, which had I known that move was coming, then I could have found a prophylactic move to stop it. But it's just about being sharper, being more alert, and that is why as well, like, I've stuffed myself for lunch just so I have the energy. I've also managed to have over 8 hours sleep, I should be in good form today. So without further ado, let's do some very quick calculation, just so we have a little bit of chess brain rolling before the games begin. So let's see if this works. Okay, Alyakin against Yates. Maybe someone can just quickly message the chat, just so I know that it's working. Okay, perfect, Josh. You just said, yo, glad to see the chat is working, and welcome to the stream. Okay, let's begin then. You want to train as well? Okay. From afar. Okay, sure. Okay, so we've got queen, rook, rook, bishop, bishop against queen, rook, rook, bishop, knight. So we've got bishop pair. We've got 2, 6, 2, 6. Okay, so 6 pawns each. What is going on? So we used to have a fear in chat over the bishop has moved to h3. What else is there to note about the position? We are fully castled. They have an open f-file. The knight and rook are pressuring f2. The bishop is being pressured by our rook, but it is defended twice by knight and queen. Our queen has some x-ray pressure on the rook on e8. Our bishop is eyeing up g7. Our bishop is eyeing up e6. The thing that jumps out at me is, like, can we make a tactic work where I take the bishop, they take back with the queen, and then I take the rook, right? This would win me a piece. But of course, if I take the bishop now, they'll take back with the knight. So in that case, is there a way I can displace the knight? Can I play a move like f3 or something? So these are the kind of ideas that are coming to mind. Nothing else is really jumping out as me as a tactical kind of resource. The plan is to try and make this tactic work. So how? So candidate moves, f3, bishop g2. I mean, taking on d6, it's a capture. We don't have any checks. I mean, bishop takes g7, queen d5, bishop e6. I mean, these could be considered. But okay, let's consider f3. So if f3 and the knight were to just move back somewhere silly like f6, then rook takes d6, queen d6, Oh, and that even defends the rook on e8. So we'd need to be a bit more precise. Like, we'd probably need to start by taking and then taking. But okay, well, what about a move like knight g5? Because like f3, knight g5, it hits our bishop. And it also hits our bishop with check. So that begs the question whether we just go bishop g2 then. But surely this is just too slow. Although what can black do? Because if black, like, let's say moves away somewhere, then at the very least you could take and potentially ruin black's pawn structure. It doesn't feel like a very woodpecker solution, but it does look okay. I mean, bishop g2, there's also moves like knight d2, right? Hitting the rook. If rook d1, then knight f3. Comes with check. I guess when you take, they take, and then you do have a tactic again. So maybe it's fine. I mean, bishop g2 looks like the most promising move right now. Rook takes d6, knight takes d6. Is there anything I can throw in here? Don't think so. So I think on that logic, I think I have to try bishop g2. I mean, I really don't see... I mean, f3, knight g5. I mean, what do I play? If I just play a move like bishop g4, do they have a way to resolve this? I mean, maybe not really, right? Maybe they go like bishop b8. And then we just play like h4 to kick away the knight. Oh, that even traps the knight. Yo, f3, knight g5, bishop g4. We're actually threatening both the bishop and playing h4 to trap the knight. Wow. So maybe f3 is just simply better. f3, what about if they play like this knight d2? I guess if we take here, threatening the queen, and they take back and we take with check, and then if they come here, we actually take with check, queen takes, we take with check, and then we can always save our rook, like, somewhere, and with one material. So yeah, f3 is the correct answer, wow. So it's just forcing yourself to calculate further, and then you see everything. I'm pretty sure this is the way. Wow, very nice. Yeah, my stream cut out yesterday. It's very sad, and I only realized 10 minutes in. To be honest, it was probably a good thing because I was really out of it that morning and not having a good time. So probably a good day to have the stream cut. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to play today. I'm playing a Spanish FM. Turns out the guy's actually like 80 years old. So I mean, it's a potential scalp, but at the same time, I mean, he's 200 points at least below his peak. I haven't actually checked his rating graph, but, you know, if he's made FM and he's 2100, then, you know, he's 200 points below. So definitely no joke of a player. I'm going to try and take it as seriously as possible, not get complacent. Yeah, give it my 100%. How could bishop g2 ever be the solution? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm also trying to view this from, like, a real game perspective. I mean, you can never play f3 if it's not actually working, right? f3, bishop, knight g5, rook d6. Oh, I think on f3, if knight g5, I think bishop g4 is important. I mean, let's find out. Just to verify your line. Okay, both of us are correct. But actually, Bob is even more correct with rook d6. Right, hitting the queen. And if takes with check, then you can move the king, attacking the knight as well. That's fair. I mean, it does worry me a little bit to have the king so exposed, but wow, queen h5 only moved. Did Bob see up to that? Yeah, I guess queen e7 is not so critical. Okay, it is top move though. Fair enough. I mean, I feel like this line is very, very critical, right? Because it almost looks like it's not winning, but you need to find queen h5 at the end to stop the knight retreating. But okay, in any case, bishop g4 was also good enough to be like a decent enough of an advantage. Because I think on something like rook e8, then are we not trapping the knight? Not with h4, because then there's knight here, but maybe f4 is not trapping the knight anymore. Oh, there's ways they can play. Why can't they do this? Oh, because bishop e6, yeah. tough position. Tough position. Yeah. But okay, we found f3. We're able to justify it. And yeah, 2180 years old is really impressive for sure. Two questions from Mark. Doing recaps and ETA on Gurganitsa. I wish I could give you an ETA on Gurganitsa. I mean, the only thing I can keep saying is that, it's going to be less than a month. But at this point, I've been saying it's less than a month for like months. So yeah, unfortunately, I really can't say. I'll need to catch up with Damien to see how he's getting along. But I believe he is getting close to finishing. Yeah, Queen H5 would be a tough spot, but probably doable. And yeah, in terms of recaps, yes, I will at least be going over the key positions from my games at the end of the tournament, and I will upload it in a single video that I'll upload to the channel, as opposed to it being a stream. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, let's do some more calculation. Let's go. Okay, so equal material. Sorry, I just got distracted with something. Okay, let me lock back in. Checks, captures, threats, also like any hanging pieces, any loose pieces. Loose rook on a1, x-ray pressure, the queen onto the king, open c-file, we're making use of battery, queen and rook. H rook is on our h2 pawn. g2 and h3 have some tension. Maybe moves like queen d5 might be something to worry about. Yeah, it doesn't look like the kind of position that would have a tactic for white, to be honest, from an intuitive point of view. But okay, what attacking moves do we have? So in terms of checks, we don't have any except for rook c8, which I think we can dismiss pretty quickly. Captures, we have rook takes a7, which looks very promising, actually. No other captures except for taking on h3 if we want to potentially slow down their attack. Maybe it's possible. Threats, probably b6, disrupts the defense. Maybe rook c6, rook a6 as well, potentially. So okay, let's look at each of these moves. So rook takes a7 first. If rook a7 and they don't take, I mean, it looks pretty bad because we're going to follow up with like queen a4 and threaten this checkmate, right? So yeah, rook takes a7. If king takes a7, then we've got multiple checks. We've got either b6 or we can put a queen on the a file. Probably a3 feels best. But okay, if rook takes a7, king takes a7, we go b6. If they go back king a8, they lose immediately to queen a3, queen a7. So rook a7, king a7, b6. If they go king b8, I suspect we still go queen a3. And how on earth do they stop the threat of queen a7? They have no counter checks. So rook a7, king a7, b6, king a6. Or here we can just go rook a4. But then they can sack the queen. Queen takes a4, queen takes a4, king takes b6. And if we don't have an immediate follow-up, I'm not 100% convinced that we win that. So rook a7, king a7, b6, king a6. Are there any other ways we can try and finesse this? Ooh, what about queen a3 check? Because in the instance that they take king takes b6, when we go queen c5 check, king a6 is forced. We're so close to getting that king, but not quite. If we move like the rook somewhere like rook c1, then they can play a move like b6 and they get away. So hold up. Rook a7, king a7, b6, king a6. Is there really no win? Queen a3, king b6. That's crazy. Okay, so rook a7, king a7. Let me just check these other moves. So what about like queen a3? If queen a3, king b8, then we go b6, and it's transposition and we win. Rook a7, king a7, queen a3. king b6, well, now we go queen c5 check, and king a5 is forced. And surely we have a win here. We go queen a7 check, forcing king takes b5, then rook c5 check, forcing king b4, then queen a5 check, forcing king b3, rook c3 check, forcing king b2, queen a3 check, forcing king b1, rook c1 check with mate. Beautiful. I think we've seen the whole line. So, rook a7. And they don't have to take the rook, as we said. And this is actually interesting. They don't have a counter check, but they do have a mate threat. So, in this position... Wow, I really should have been careful with this. Yikes, is all I can say. How do I deal with this? Maybe a move like queen a2, which both defends and attacks at the same time. Like, is it possible to say queen a2 if they take on g2, queen takes g2, pawn takes g2, and then we just save the rook? I don't know, or even play like rook ca4, and just say this is a winning rook endgame. It's definitely a promising one. Because right now I don't really see anything else, like rook a8 or rook c8, does that really change something? I feel like we're just too slow to make something work. I think we got to play queen a2, it's very lucky that I have this move. And I guess now it's a question, do I want to play this, do I want to save the rook, or do I want to play b6? The more I look at it, actually b6 might be killer, because then that keeps the king trapped, and then rook a4 is winning, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's actually just GG, I think. b6, and let's say they play, like, I don't know, some random ass move. And when we play rook a4, they can go here. So how does b6 actually win? I guess b6, and if they play some random move, then we can always play rook c7 and win like this. So, and b6, if they play rook c8, then we do this, and then this is winning. So I think b6 is the move. Yeah, and then rook a4. Right, rook a4, rook c1, king g2, rook c2, king g3. Game over. Because we'll skewer the rook at the end, so yeah, this is winning. Yeah, amazing. And yeah, the line was very important that here you don't play b6. Oh, you can win with b6. With rook c5, that's a difficult move to see. And then queen b4, wow, yeah, that's really tough. I think spotting queen a3 and queen c5 is much better. And yeah, just to triple check that we had no mistakes with this. I mean, I think I was saying... What was that? I was saying queen a7 here. I was saying queen a7, which does mate. Okay. Even if there's a faster mate, as long as we see that this motif is working and we're not blundering any pieces, yeah, this is just your classic. It's almost like a ladder checkmate in a slightly different way. Yeah, it's queen d5, really great find for everyone who suggested it. Oh, head is in the way. Sorry, I didn't change the overlay. Apologies. Let's fix that up for the last 5 minutes. Maybe we can squeeze in one final exercise. Yeah, good job, Josh, finding that best defense. Yeah, b6, a random move, we play rook c7, exactly. Okay, I think that was a good effort. Let's try and finish one final one. And then we have a walk down the mountain, and then we try our best to play the best game of our lives. Okay. Immediate reaction, bullet reaction is just like, I want to connect my rooks, play bishop g5. If they take my bishop, I win the rook. But probably a shocker of a move. Okay, so what's going on? Queen, rook, rook, queen, rook, rook, knight, bishop, knight. So we actually have an extra bishop. Equal number of pawns. We've got a whole extra piece. The problem is we cannot just move this knight somewhere safe because we hang the rook. So we need to resolve this and not be material down. So how can we do that? Do we have any checks? We have no checks. Do we have any captures? Yes, we have a lot of captures. Any capture with the knight, we get wrecked. Literally any move with the knight, we are getting wrecked. So, what about the queen? Queen can take the rook, queen can take the knight. Queen can take some pawns. Those are the only captures. And then we got the threat. So, like, bishop g5 is a threat. Maybe bishop h6, but probably less likely. So, okay, let's just double check the captures don't do anything. Like, queen takes rook, queen takes rook. Yeah, it looks terrible. Queen takes knight. Looks terrible as well. So bishop g5, if they take our bishop, they regain material. We take that rook, we're a whole rook up. And then they take our knight. Are we not an exchange up? I feel like we're an exchange up. Bishop g5, we connect the rook, so then the knight is free to move. Bishop g5 just looks like the move. Bishop g5, queen takes, knight takes, and we're just an exchange up. Yeah, I think that's literally it. Wow, yep, nothing more to say. Bishop g5. Oh, knight e4. Oh, queen takes a8 also wins. Okay, good. Knight e4, queen f4, queen a8. The knight is lost here, but white is still winning. Right, so there wasn't a way to save the piece entirely. Wow, Fritz is giving this long line after bishop g5, f6, but the point is that after f6, we can already just move the knight. Like, there's no need to go for, like, some, long checking line or something. Bishop g5, queen takes g5, queen a8. I think you said bishop g5 twice, Josh. I'm a bit confused. Oh, no, you're saying a new line. Okay, queen takes a8 and bishop g5. Okay, you're both looking at this queen c4, queen d5 check, but I think it's unnecessary, right? If f6, we just move the knight back and we're chilling. Okay, very, very nice. Let's do one more. Let's do one final one. We've got an extra 2-3 minutes. Let me squeeze in one final one. Okay, queen, rook, knight, bishop, queen, rook, knight, knight. 1, 2, 5, 4. Okay, so we're pawn up. However, there is a lot going on in this position. I mean, our bishop is being attacked twice, only defended once. There's tension on the knight on c7. We cannot play bishop takes c7 just yet because queen takes b5, unless we've got like some mating attack, which we may well do. Knight's on a very good square. On e5, their knight on d5 is well placed. Rook on f6 looks a bit awkward. Their back rank feels a bit vulnerable. I'm also looking out for forks because we have a knight, and king is exposed, queen is exposed. Okay, so in this position, I want to resolve the issue of queen takes b6, because queen takes b6 just wins them a piece. So, just trying to remove a hair from my laptop. Yeah, so queen takes b6 is a threat, so in that case, what moves can we try? Well, what checks do we have? We've got queen c8, queen b8, rook a8, all potentially strong. What captures do we have? We've got bishop takes c7, queen takes d5. Doesn't look too good. And then what about threats? A threat that is bigger than the fact that they can win our bishop. Maybe knight d7. Not really, though. Okay, so let's look at our checks. Okay, what if we do this rook a8? Bring another attacker in. They cannot move their king. If they take our rook with a knight, what candidates do we have there? Probably we just take back with the queen, we lose an exchange, and they play rook f8. And I don't see a follow-up after that. So what about queen c8 on the starting move? Queen c8, rook f8. Again, not seeing a queen b8 again, rook f8. So what about captures? Bishop takes c7. If bishop c7, they take our queen. Are we just screwed? Probably, right? And if queen takes c7, knight takes c7, bishop c7, we have the threat of rook a8, but even then, there's still rook f8. So what on earth am I missing? queen takes d5, just knight takes d5, I guess. And still I don't see anything. Knight d7, there's just queen takes d7. Knight d7, queen takes d7, maybe rook a8, because they can't take our rook with a knight. Then what happened? Knight d7, queen d7, rook a8. They block rook f8. Rook takes f8, king takes f8. Queen b8? It's really struggling to see this cleanly. Because that might actually win. Knight d7, if queen takes d7, rook a8 check. They cannot block knight d8 because we'll take their queen. If they block rook f8, we just take their rook, king takes back, and we go queen b8. If they play queen e8 to block, we can go bishop takes c7, queen takes b8, bishop takes b8. And do we have a winning endgame? We do have an extra pawn. Might be a winning endgame there. So knight d7, queen d7, rook a8, rook f8, rook takes f8, king takes f8. Queen b8, king e7, bishop c5, king f6, queen f8, king g5. You'd hope that there's something there. Man, I don't know. Knight d7 is the most promising move I've found, but it's kind of that long variation, wrong variation vibe. There might be just something simpler that I'm missing. Oh, the e6 pawn might be vulnerable, right? In case of like rook a8, knight takes a8, and like queen c8. Would that lead somewhere? Rook f8, and then we take on e6. And in that position, if they block with the rook, queen f7, king h8, queen f8 mate. And if king h8, do we have a win? Maybe we go knight f7 check, king takes, and then queen c8. And then we give back rank. Yeah, that looks like it wins, actually. Yeah, I completely missed that this e6 pawn is actually vulnerable, since the rook and knight defend it currently. But yeah, maybe let's just double check. Rook 8, can they do anything else? They can block with the rook. If rook 8, they block with the rook, I just take it, king takes. Queen c8. If king e7, then I just go bishop c5, king f6. Yeah, queen f8, and I can actually take on g7 this time because the queen's not on d7, so that looks good. Rook a8, knight takes a8, queen c8. Rook block is forced, queen takes e6, king h8 is forced, knight f7. If king g8 back, then you got that knight h6, and then sack the queen on g8, knight f7 mate. Yeah, this is the move. Very nice. Okay, really glad that we managed to end with a correct answer. And this was the knight f7. Okay, they actually let us do the smothered mate. How kind of them. Okay, my touchpad stopped working. There we go. Nice. Okay, so welcome Prabhat to the stream, and glad that you were able to find rook a8 as well. Bob B, good job with rook a8. I think you got rook a8 as well. Looks like Frizz got rook a8 as well. Okay, loads of you got rook a8. Fantastic. Good effort, everyone. Yeah, and I'm in the tournament sharpness today, and I think that's the most important thing. I've just got to stay physically fit, mentally fit, keep up that 100% at the board. And yeah, I think I can do that today. So I will let you guys know how it goes. And on that note, thank you for coming in and tuning in, and see you tomorrow. Okay, bye guys.